To make this Minecraft bee, we're gonna need a lot of wood. I'm gonna be using the 1-inch cubes. I wanted to use the half-an-inch cubes, but I didn't have enough. And to glue everything together, I'm gonna be using Elmer's wood glue. I'm not really a fan of this glue. Even though it gets the job done, it is extremely difficult to work with. So I'm starting to glue the cubes 2 at a time because I don't want it to come apart like the sword. And I'm using clamps to really make sure they stick together. However, I only have 2 clamps, so I had to wait for them to dry before gluing the rest. And that was taking me way too long, so we're not doing that today. And this is how many cubes I'm gonna need for this bee. I have a total of 80 cubes, but if you leave the inside hollow like this, you're only gonna need 68 cubes. Remember, you still have to cover the top and the bottom. You can leave them hollow like this, unless that's what you want. In that case, you're gonna need even less. And this is where the clamps come in handy. It is easier to glue a single layer, but when it comes to multiple layers, you're gonna need a little bit of help. After a few hours, the cube is totally dry, but as you can see, I have a lot of cracks, so before I go any further, I'm gonna use more glue and try to push it in the cracks using my fingers. Once I was done doing that, it is time for some sanding. And of course, adding a coat of gesso before painting. Then I have to create smaller cubes. And for painting, I normally mix my own colors, but I know this is gonna take me a few days to finish and I don't have any containers to save the paint that I mix for later. So I'm gonna try every single shade of yellow and brown that I have available and try to make it work. I don't know how many of you know this already, but if you're like me and you don't like wasting your tape, you can cut the dirty edges and reuse the tape. However, you can only do this once or twice because the tape is gonna lose the stickiness and it's not gonna work. Or you can just cut the tape in smaller pieces from the beginning. So I noticed that this isn't actually yellow, it's more like a brownish color, so I thought that maybe I can dilute some brown paint in water and get a nice color. That was a bad idea, so I tried to cover it up and paint it yellow, but that wasn't a good idea either. So I ended up using this brown color that isn't so dark and continued my day not before having a little accident. I cleaned it up, then I was looking at it, and this is not a good color palette at all. The yellow was a better choice, so before painting it yellow again, I'm doing a white base. I wasn't happy with the yellow, so I tried another color and this is exactly what I was looking for. All of the colors work together, so now that I finally have my color palette figured out, I can just focus on painting. So my 1,000 layers of paint started to peel off, so instead of trying to fix it adding another layer of paint, I'll take it off and start over later. I was having a lot of trouble trying to cover the pencil lines with the yellow, so now before I paint the yellow areas, I have to cover every single line with the white paint, and it feels like making all of those lines was kinda useless because I ended up covering most of them. I had to put a cloth under because I didn't want the paint to scratch. The eyes of the Minecraft bee actually has 3 squares, but because I had 1 extra square, I had to use it somewhere, so I decided to make the eyes a little bit bigger. Hopefully it doesn't look terrible. We cannot forget to add a layer of matte bash to protect the paint. Now, while this is drying, we can start working on the wings and everything else. I'm starting by drawing the shapes and to see how many squares I need and how long they need to be. So in total I need 23 pieces, 12 of them are gonna be out of 2 squares, 8 of them are gonna be out of 1 square, and 3 of them are gonna be out of 3 squares. I measure it so they are 1 inch, and now we can start cutting. They had a little bit of rough edges, so I had to sand them. And then paint them. So now that I have to glue them, I just realized that I should have done that before painting. So instead of the wood glue, I'm using clear glue so it doesn't show, and I'm doing it on the paper, so you know where this is going, right?
Many unbearable hours later.
After letting them dry, they not only got stuck to the paper but also to the table. I tried my best not to break them, but they were not coming off. I glued them again, this time using the wood glue, and then had to paint them afterwards. And this is how the bee turned out. It was a ton of work, but I'm really happy with the result. It is really cute and I love it.